I please welcome the peers and the success panel coming to the stage. Everyone with a round of applause. Come on up, sisters. Please. I shall sit here. Come on up. Ooh, we got some sparkles. We got some animal print, or would you say leaf? A little both. Excellent. Goes both ways. Awesome. I'd love to sit here if you don't. Are we missing a chair? Team. Susie. Sarah. We need a chair. I would love to be here if you don't mind, if we can add another one down there. Do you mind, Jen?
I don't mind.
Okay. Thank you. I have my water, which I will need. Okay. So we'll get you a chair shortly. So, behold, this lovely. I was having lunch with them earlier. I'm like, I have such a pretty success panel, right? Wasn't on purpose, but it was really fun to, check them out, stepping into being a confident business diva, right? So they've been listening, which is very exciting to me. Also, may I recommend name tags off? Jess, let's take your name tag off because you're being a living example right now. Okay. So what I would love to do is first to introduce you to everyone. I want you to know who's up here. Maybe you've gotten to interact with some of them already, but you probably haven't met them all. And they're pretty cool, if I may say so myself. I do love my clients. So what I'm going to do is pass down the mic, and I'd love for you guys to just say your name and what you do. Let's start there. And let's see, do we say? If there's a website, you can share the website as well. But let's be nice and lean and keep practicing for everyone, like how cool your elevator speeches are and how you're getting to that point. So name, website, and what you do, please.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Dana with DanaMermaid.com, and I'm an expert ocean guide and dolphin whisperer who helps transform women entrepreneurs from stuck, stressed, and playing small to awakened and alive, empowered with passion and purpose to create big change in the world.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jo Westwood and I am your social media DJ, and I help women entrepreneurs to rock their brand online, to find their peeps and attract ideal clients. And I have an awesome website coming soon, jowestwood.com, thanks to the amazing Jess Webb, who you are about to meet.
Yay, thank you.
Hi, I'm pyethmcqueen.com with businessvideoqueen.com. And I teach women entrepreneurs the sacred art of makeup so they can become luminescent leaders in video.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Heather Jernigan with heatherjernigan.com. I'm a private launch coach where I help women entrepreneurs get their message out to the marketplace in a really powerful way. I'm also the host of a virtual speaker series coming up called Your Magnetic Business at yourmagneticbusiness.com.
Thank you.
I'm Jess Webb from jesswebb.com, and I build captivating websites and online marketing for women destined for six figures and beyond.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Nassy, Clear Skin Diva at clearskindiva.com, and I help women get clear, radiant skin so they can feel great in their skin.
Awesome. Thank you. Round of applause just for all of that. Cool. I get to have a moment of being a real proud mama and getting a little verklempt listening to all of you, especially knowing some of their journeys and some of the resistances that I've had to come up against and supporting them on their process. But I love that we've got 2 in tiaras, we've got some bling going on. It's very exciting for me to get to witness this. So what I wanted to do was to let them tell you their stories. First, I wanted you to know who was up here. But I think so you guys could see yourself in them. Now, while you're doing this, I'd love for you to remember the oneness piece, to remember that these are all reflections of you, right? See that through your heart. And get curious about what this reflection of you is doing in the world, right? And how they're finding their way. Also, I invite you to be in a really receptive space. Like, you don't know, I've witnessed success panels before, and I've gotten major pieces for myself and my business from hearing what somebody else went through or what they did. So if you set that intention for yourself, you don't know. Some of you I know are looking for your answer. You don't know where your answer could come from. Let it be now. And if that's the case, like, be in that receptive space. You might even kind of lean back Actually, I will recommend that. So we do this in our group, and it's called leaning back into the feminine. It's a little harder when feet aren't on the ground. But basically, lean back and spread your legs. Now for the guys, it might be a little bit different. You might want to kind of be more in the structure and the holding that place. The idea is to sort of slip into the archetypal ideal of the masculine and the feminine. For the ladies, this is a very receptive position, right? And spreading your legs can be a bit vulnerable, but it's also a place to receive from and really being in that power. So I'd love for you guys to be in a receiving space and holding that awareness that you get what you need in this moment and that these are your reflections that get to inspire you. Cool? Awesome. Okay, so would you please tell us about your journey, where you started out and where you got to, and any little nuggets of wisdom that you think someone might benefit from. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so before I met Christina, just to tell you a little of my background, I was all over the place, and I was doing underwater photography. I was captioning on boats, crewing, safety swimming. I was offering mermaid transformations, and I would do it for families. I was really into ocean conservation. It was very important to me. I did a lot of stuff with kids, and I was charging. Are you ready for this? I was charging $100 per person for 4 hours. And sometimes that included all of the above.
Oh, God. Ouch.
And I thought that was okay. So I met Christina, and one of the things that really attracted to me about her, or to her program and having her as a coach and mentor, is her story and her background. I was really intrigued because she has gone through being the hippie healer, Burning Man girl. And, I was the hippie healer, surfer, dolphin swimmer girl. And spirituality is really important to me, but I really resisted being a businesswoman. And here's, Christina started out this way, and she is amazingly successful. And she's heart-centered, a beautiful, beautiful woman, and still creating big change in the world. And the idea that I could be a successful businesswoman and making a lot of money and being spiritual and helping people was not, I didn't get how that would be possible. And so I also really resisted the group program, which is what I ended up signing up for. And it's changed my life. In 3 months, the group program itself, all these women and the other women in the program have been like my lifeline, and having Christina as support, because I live in Kona on the Big Island, and there is not a lot of up-leveled women entrepreneurs that live there. I'll just say that. So it's been incredibly supportive to me on so many levels. And in 3 months of being in this program and working with Christina, I created a VIP package called Awaken Your Inner Siren and The World is Your Oyster. And the package full price is $5,000, and I have introductory rates at $3,500. My first client flew over to see me from Australia. She paid the $3,500 after one conversation, and she was 8 months pregnant and flew by herself without her husband. And one of the things that we did this, Christina did the work today around writing down your expertise and your work experience and basically bragging, and that was a part of changing my life, because my whole life, I knew that I have a lot to offer the world. Why wouldn't people pay? Why aren't people paying me? And I was struggling to see why I couldn't get the income. And when I first did that exercise with Christina and I put my expertise on the paper, I have clients that are the wealthiest people on the planet. I have top celebrity clients. I've been in documentaries. I've been on TV shows. I don't talk about it a lot.
I don't even know that. If I knew that, I would get my hands on it.
Right. And that's the thing, is I got it on paper. I know dolphins by name, and I have this incredible talent of helping support women in the process of finding their amazingness and help them feel safe to walk through their fears, swim through their fears. And I was not stepping into this at all. I got this on paper, and I looked at that, and I was like, okay, if I was not me, I would do everything in my power to find this person, meet them, and get what they offer. And I don't care how much it costs. And Christina's helped me step into that and into my value, and that is invaluable. And I'm so grateful to you. And I had this moment that was like kind of silly but very life-changing on a photo shoot that was a few months ago, and I saw Christina's purse. And for me, I have resisted, my wardrobe as the hippie healer, surfer girl, dolphin swimmer, is a bikini, board shorts, and barefoot.
and maybe some shell necklaces.
And some shells. I love shells. And, I would not be looking like this. And I didn't see the value or importance in that because I was resisting being this businesswoman and resisting having money. I don't want people to see me as about money. And I want to inspire service and change in the world. And to me, that should be a free gift. And so I had this moment where I saw Christina's purse, and it's a very nice purse. And my purse at the time was like a beautiful cloth purse, like mermaid material my friend made for me. I loved it. And I had this moment where I saw Christina and embodying her brand in her, designer clothes and purse, and it was a total shift in perspective because I got to see the power that has. Like, me being broke and inspiring the world is not powerful. And having money and stepping into your value is powerful because you can inspire people in a bigger way.
Can you get a round of applause on that one? Thank you. Awesome. Hang on for 1 second. So just one piece to really illustrate what this stretching is all about. So we're on the photo shoot. Dana, I had to push her into a dress versus something that was hippie-like. And we had accessories all out on the table, right? Because we're photographing all the confident business divas, so we're pooling the accessories. It was really this great community experience. She reaches for the shell necklace. And I was like, snatched it out of her hands, and I said, it's not on my watch. But what I found was, because we had all these accessories, there was this beautiful golden necklace that had all these circles on it. And so Dana, if you know her on social media, she writes everything with all these circles on it because it looks like bubbles coming out of the water. And I said, this is what you're going to wear. I am not looking for something that is not you. I am looking for the up-leveled version of you. And we almost came to a brawl around the shell necklace. She was like, but that's me. I said, not anymore. So anyways, just to show you what that can look like, she was attached to the shell necklace. And really there was a next version for her that was still her, but the next version up. And I forget whose necklace it was, but they ended up gifting it to her because it was so her. And you still wear it.
I still have it. It's actually my favorite.
Vindication.
I just want to end with saying, too, that this has been raising my rates and stepping into my value has been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I could not do it without support. And again, before I met Christina, I was praying for help because I was doing this all on my own. I had no idea what help I needed, but I needed help. And you've given me that. And I had no idea. The necklace, I was like, no, that's not me. I would never wear that. And I didn't see that, of course, the hippie healer, surfer girl would never wear that. But the me that I'm meant to be in this world needs to wear that. And it is me. And I get to, so I get to create bigger change and serve the purpose that I'm meant here to serve. And so if any of you are afraid of the process or raising your rates, just dive in and do it.
I love it. And really, I wanted you guys to hear from Dana because what a unique business. She takes people swimming with the dolphins, and she helps women awaken their inner siren with a photo shoot, turning them into a mermaid. You can find out a lot more about her work at the vendor table outside. So round of applause for Dana Mermaid. Thank you. Pass it down.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hi. This is exciting. Okay, so my story is
Okay, by trade, I like to call it, I'm a textile designer. So I have studied fashion and textiles all my life, and I'm 26, so it's not a very long life, but it's been, but it is literally like all my life. I've always loved clothes and textiles and all of that. And straight after leaving school at 16, I went in to study that. And I'm not sure if we have any other Brits in the room, but if we do, or if you're familiar with us, you will know that we're pretty closed off. And I was very much on this like one track. This is what I've decided. This is what all my parents have put a ton of money into my education for this. This is what I have to do for the rest of my life. Like one job for the rest of your life. Like, hello, is it the 1950s? Like,
she's very 1950s, don't you think? I like George Jetson.
And so that's what I did. I went to university, studied textiles, I got a job, and then I decided to start my own business because it turns out I'm a terrible employee. I just think I can do it better, ha ha ha. And unfortunately, I didn't actually know anything about business, and so I wasn't making any money, and it was a real struggle, and I ended up just playing small to try and survive. I downscaled and downscaled and downscaled. I was on the spiral, but on the wrong way, right? And so I had to kind of resource, and so I started a little social media business on the side, and it was literally on the side. So I had these two businesses running alongside each other, totally unrelated. I didn't know who I was, what I did. When people say, what do you do? And I was just like, it depends what day it is. And then that's when I saw, in February, I saw a Christina Marassi video, and she said that she helps women to bring all their gifts together. I was like, that's what I need. I have no idea how she's going to do it, but I'm there. And so I did the online course, the 5-week Find Your Ecstatic brand course, and I had an hour's coaching with Christina as part of that. And I know that she's going to pull me up on some of my resistance. She's prepared me for it. So whilst we're being honest, I'm going to do a little impression of what Christina said to me, because it's so key to the story. She goes, textiles sounds a little dry. She was like, I don't even really know what that is. Sounds like a lot of energy and a lot of work for not a lot of money.
That's pretty good, right? I've never heard her imitate me.
I'm like, cheers, love. That's my life's work. But yeah, she was right.
I was like, are you designing pillows? What are you doing? Cushions. You were doing cushions.
Yeah, and not even just designing them, making them. I was physically hand printing and sewing cushions one by one. In a business that had for a year or 18 months, the first 6 months were just me kind of farting around, not really, I have a business. No, you don't. And in that year, I think I paid myself £400 twice. And I felt so guilty every time I took money out of the business.
And now?
And now, so yeah, I had a lot of resistance because I was I'm a maker, and it's so ridiculous and ironic because actually I never wanted to make. I downsized myself to make because I was scared. I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to design and let somebody else outsource. When I was 16, I thought I was going to be John Galliano, and then I was printing cushions one by one. Yeah, not the dream. So anyway, Christina was like, look, I think you need to go with the social media piece, and we'll find a way to bring the design in. And I was like, yeah, okay. Don't really believe you, but okay, I'll go along with it. And she's worked with me to kind of create this whole new career that it literally doesn't exist. I literally have not found one other person that does this the way I do this, and this whole live reporting thing. She's helped me innovate and create this together, and I get to do this super cool thing and make a lot of money out of it. I am making more money than I have ever made. I consistently now have more money in my bank than when I was salaried when I had my first job, and I work less hours and I love it.
I like to challenge my clients to actually share the numbers. Do you hear how she's kind of skirting around the actual number? And it's funny, this happens all the time. I force them in the Facebook group to tell us what you're making. And everyone comes up against this funny resistance. So would you please share some real numbers with us?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had a goal. I set myself a goal that I wanted to make £5,000, which is about $8,000 in December this month. And I'm on track for that. So I'm going to make that. And we've been working together in the CBD program since August?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've gone from £800 in a year to $8,000 in a month.
Woo! Now, isn't that much more satisfying to hear the numbers? And if some of you, remember friendly cannibalism. If you want, I want that, right? Thank you. Excellent. So thank you for sharing that, Joe. And so it really, there was quite a bit of resistance because I'm like, okay, textile designer, it just didn't match up for me at all. And so I was like, can't you design Twitter backgrounds or something? I mean, I just knew there was something very new paradigm about her. And so we decided to create this whole new way of operating. For my last live event, I was like, I want live reporting. She's like, I want to create live reporting. And so we created this whole new way of doing an event. I don't know if you guys have been on Facebook at all, but on my page, constant feed of what's happening in here. And that is what Joe is doing in the back of the room as the social media DJ, right? So I want you, go check that out and comment, and you can post stuff on my wall. This is where we create a virtual party together, and the word gets out wider, right? I'm building my platform, and we all get to be a part of that process. And what was so cool is when we did it at my last event, all these people were paying attention and seeing that we were doing something a little bit different. And people, the top of the industry, people way above me, reached out to work with Joe. And she went right to the top in order to do that. Now, that's a little unusual, but that's what she's meant for. And she was telling me about sewing cushions. And I was like, but I'm an artist, and my parents have invested. And it was there was this whole thing about I have to make a product. I mean, it was really a funny journey. But anyways, you see the social media DJ before you, and does it not match? Is she not on purpose? Awesome. Round of applause for Joe. Thank you. You can pass it down.
Can I just add a little something as well?
Yes,
just,
if it's quick.
Yeah, very quick. On top of the numbers as well, I get to do awesome stuff. In 6 months, I've been to LA 3 times. I've worked in Phoenix. I've worked with Beth Davis. I've worked with Laura Hollick. I get to wear these clothes to work.
Yes, you
hello. Do. So there are all these amazing things that come when you are on purpose doing what you're meant to be doing, as well as the money, which is just nice.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Awesome. Hi, Pius.
All right. Hi. I have the sweatiest palms right now. It is just so wild being up here in this package in front of you all. I was behind the scenes for such a long time as a makeup artist, and I never wore makeup. I was doing the makeup. In fact, I had a lot of judgments about makeup. I'd be totally fine bringing out your beauty and showcasing your soul and teaching you about how makeup can support the feminine, and I never wore it. And when I would show up to photo shoots and film sets and runway shows, I would kind of wear my jeans and, just be pretty scrubby. And that's why I have sweaty palms right now, because coming out of that world of wanting to hide and being behind the scenes has been a really big stretch for me. Physically right now, I feel like I'm shaking and I'm trying to control it. Because being in Christina's program and being in Christina's world is all about stretching into the you that you were designed to be. And so it was in my discovery session that I had my first big aha with Christina. She asked me if I was willing to bring makeup back into my business, and I was actually working as a healer. After 10 years of being a makeup artist, I had a big personal crisis of identity, and I was like, this world is so fake, and these people are so fake, and I can't just be around this anymore. And I needed to go deep inside with myself and really honor the healer, and I felt like I was a better person. I was more spiritual if I was going to function as a healer. And fast forward a few years, I'm broke, and I'm tired, and I'm even getting resentful working as a healer. And I knew that had to shift. And when I saw that Christina functioned as a shaman and a headshot photographer, I was like, I think she's probably someone who could help me. Like, maybe I could bring something together, but I never thought makeup could come back. And so in our discovery session, she said, how about makeup? And I actually started to cry. And I did not expect that, because there was not really a part of my conscious mind that thought makeup was transformational or wonderful. I hadn't really owned what I was doing for women, and I started to see through my work with Christina that I was actually facilitating healings in the makeup chair. The women were coming away transformed and in touch with their feminine. And I even feel chills on my body when I talk about that. And I just hadn't owned it at all. And somehow she really saw it had to come back. So I entered the Confident Business Diva program, and with her support, I brought transformation work, the healing method that I do, and the makeup. And so I started to create this program around the sacred art of makeup. And another thing that really blew my socks off was that I could never have imagined the container in which I now hold my program. And one thing I can say about working with Christina, she'll stretch you in ways that you really can't prepare yourself for. And they're going to be the perfect spots, those blind spots where all your stuff is hiding. And I got triggered like all the time. All the time. And all my girls up here know, like, when I get triggered, I kind of disappear off the wall, and I'm like, ugh. And that's me, like, working through something. And but it took going through those triggers and allowing myself to be stretched into new ideas about what a healer and a makeup artist could be to get me to where my program is today. It's called the Luminescent Leader in Video. And I hold all of my sessions via Skype. I'm doing makeup and transformation over the internet and facilitating incredible, powerful shifts for women entrepreneurs to truly own their luminescent leader and step forward into the marketplace with their gifts in total physical alignment with their message. And that's something I think, actually, when she mentioned to me, how can you do your program virtually? I was like, we were on the phone, so my face was something like, because I thought, how in the hell could a healer own that? That I could transmit my energy and my essence and my gifts in a virtual format. But I'm so glad that I just did it and tried it out and practiced. I got to practice on a few girls in the program. And it went brilliantly and beautifully, and even I was like, my jaw was dropping. It was happening for people. So I was still not quite in the ownership of how great this work is that I get to do on this planet. So here I am today, and I am making more money than I've ever made. Yay! My launch total was just at almost exactly $10,000. So I'm really proud of that as a makeup artist and a healer. I've gotten to bust through, I think, what would have been like a glass ceiling for a makeup artist, perhaps a glass ceiling for a healer. At the same time, I'm also pioneering a new way of doing business. There isn't really anybody out there doing what I am doing either. And it feels incredible to pioneer something so true to my soul. I get to wake up every day and know that I am being totally authentic to my vision and my mission. And it infuses so much life into what I do. So let me just think if there's anything else I want to share about that.
Just raising your rates, you mentioned.
Yeah.
I just found out how much she's raised her rates recently.
All right, yeah. So my Luminescent Leader in Video program is $2,500.
And where did it start?
It started at $997.
And so that's really, now think about that, because even when I was helping Piath bring the pieces together, I was like, I know the makeup artistry needs to come together with transformation. But even I had a moment of like, how am I going to get her to charge a high price point? Because I couldn't even quite figure out how like a high-end program would work for makeup, right? But what happened was I recommend when my clients are bringing pieces together, especially if it doesn't exist yet, that they practice on a few people. It's not a barter or a trade thing. It's more like you're practicing, and then usually you ask in return that these people will promote you when you're done. So Paya started practicing, and she started figuring out how the program went together. And it ended up becoming not just makeup artistry, it was about becoming a luminescent leader on film and video. And I was like, oh, hell, that is a high-priced program. So really, she created it. It doesn't exist out there. I have invested with her. If you've noticed my makeup on video and that has changed, that is because of Paya. And it was very transformational. So I wanted you guys to hear from her and the fact that she's created something totally unique, and she keeps raising her rates to do it. And it's like totally hers. There's no one else doing exactly what she does in that particular combination of gifts. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yeah, okay. One little piece.
Yeah. I thought I would just tie in, why the virtual piece was so amazing for me is I recently decided to go on a last-minute vacation with my husband to Colorado, where that's like my power place. Whenever I feel like I need a little boost, I go to the mountains and I feel 100% supported. And I really needed that because I've been working really hard serving my clients. I've had a fully booked schedule. And within 2 days, we just were like, let's go. And I took my business with me. I didn't have to cancel with clients. I didn't have to lose money. I was working while I was away. And that's because of the power of the coaching I received to create my program in a virtual format and stretch myself into this new package. So I've had opportunities coming my way. I've been invited to speak on telesummits and teleseries. I've been asked to be a visibility expert for some really high-level entrepreneurs as a result of the visibility I've gotten through this Confident Business Diva program.
Awesome. Thank you, Paya. So round of applause for Paya. Beautiful. It's so fun for me to listen to them talk and really they're stepping into their new celebrityness right now, right? It's really I feel like it's like you're doing well, Grasshopper. I get to be wax on, wax off. Awesome. So thank you. Please, Heather.
So I have a pretty extensive corporate background, and I'm a very organized person. I'm very, I can get things done really easily, and the corporate world worked great for a while, but then I had a family, and I was having a hard time finding balance, and it was actually really a masculine world. It was really starting to stress me out after a while, and I actually developed pretty serious digestive disorder from work, for just getting too stressed. So I had to quit the corporate world. And I healed myself, and I felt so great that I thought, I'm going to become a health coach, and I'm going to help other women feel great. And it was very feminine. I loved being feminine with that because it was such a counterbalance to my masculine business world. But then I met Christina. She's like, you're a business coach. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm a health coach. And she's like, I'll never forget this. She said, you may not see it yet, but you are a business coach. And she held that vision for me, and she held the space for me to grow into that. And so for a while I was, still growing my health coaching business and doing pretty well at it. And I was kind of bringing my get it done style, I was doing some launches. Along the way we had a photo shoot in the Confident Business Diva program. And, Christina is really amazing at bringing experiences to us. And I had picked out my cute dresses for the photo shoot, and she saw them and she's like, no, those are not right for you. And she pulled out one of her own dresses, and I put it on, and holy shit. It was a transformation. I saw the business leader that I was meant to be in that dress. And then I got the pictures back, and I was like, I don't see a health coach in there. I see a business coach there. And I felt like I had to go through a lot of shit to get there. But that, there was this space, not only with her, but within the group of that support. Along the way, people were coming to me. They're like, you are so organized. How do you do that? How did you do your launch? How do you do your marketing? And I thought I needed to tap into that. I needed to tap into that. And I kind of went through this perfect storm, and I realized, oh, my God, my mission is, in business, when I was in the business world, I thought that's flat. It's not purposeful. If I'm a business coach, I can't be purposeful. Health coaching is so much more meaningful. It's so much more on an individual level. And then I thought, oh my God, okay, I can bring my business background, my coaching experience, and if I help women get their message out to the marketplace in a really powerful way so that they can succeed in their own business, that is powerful. That's my mission. And as soon as I realized that, it was like, cha-ching. Like, I felt in total alignment. I felt like I have found my purpose. I started practicing within the group, and now clients are coming to me. Now I'm hosting a telesummit next week where I am highlighting a ton of these great women in this group to bring their message out to the marketplace, to everybody, just to highlight them because I love them so much. And I just have to thank Christina because she held the space, the group held the space, but it's been a crazy journey, but it's been so worth it.
I love, when you hear your clients share the stories, but then you went through it with them. Because for a year, I was saying, Heather, you have this corporate, marketing background. Your marketing is amazing. Are you sure you're not supposed to be doing marketing? No. I'm a health coach. It needs to be purposeful. And so at some point, as a good coach, there's places to push and there's places to back off. So when I talked about the zag to the zig, Heather did a little zag to the zig. Now there was a method to the madness. I mean, she really did find her way. And in marketing, the health coaching, she is an amazing marketer and very organized. And so people started to then come to her. And then all of a sudden, I think it was when she saw this picture of herself come back in the dress I made her wear, I was like, this is your mogul. You have a mogul inside of you. And she's like, I get it now. And I was like, thank God. I was like, vindication! It only took a year. No. Yeah, I know. And it was perfect. Of course, her pathway was perfect. But at the same time, I love, you guys getting to hear some of the resistance, the pathway that they took. And if you have gotten to know Heather, or if you'll get to know her, I'm sure she was an amazing health coach. But it makes so much more sense to see her as a business coach helping you create your private launch. And she does these adorable videos where she shows how much she loves her spreadsheets. And she really helps people document out each little piece of their launch. And it's brilliant. I watch it and I'm like, I think I want that. So that's a good sign if people are like, I want that. So anyways, there's something that has just totally come into alignment. And it's been beautiful to witness. And thank you for hanging in there with me.
You.
Awesome. Round of applause for Heather.
Hi. So, my background, I started out as a web designer about 7 or 8 years ago, just doing it on the side. I had other jobs as well. About 2.5 years ago, I actually went full-time in my business, but still wasn't really making money. I was really struggling to pay the bills every month. I think the most I ever made in a year was like 20 grand or less, pretty broke. I wasn't charging hardly anything. I was doing a lot of piecework and charging $800 for a website, and just really did not own my value. I think the biggest turning point for me as I look back over the last few months was our in-person retreat for the Confident Business Diva program. And I just really stepped into a whole new level for myself. With, the dresses, as Christina mentioned earlier, she really challenged me to take that to another level. And then the photo shoot, too, was such an incredible experience for me to really step into being that confident business diva in front of the camera. And when I saw those pictures, it was like, that's a six-figure business woman. That's not this $20,000 a year woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I raised my rates, doubled them actually. And let's see here. The photo shoot was early September. The month of September was my first $10,000 month. The first week of October was my first $10,000 week. And then the month of October was my first $15,000 month.
Whoa!
So I went from maybe making 20 grand a year to I'm at around 60,000 so far for the year, and we're not done yet.
Awesome.
And I'm loving it. I always knew that I was meant for big things. I always knew it, and I love experiencing it now and actually living it. And I'm getting married in February, and we're flying down to Dominica in the Caribbean. And I get to fly my parents down for the wedding because I'm making the kind of money to be able to do that. And that's something I always wanted to be able to do. It feels so good.
Yay! Awesome. So one thing I want to tell you about Jess Webb is I invited you to recline in the beginning, right, into that feminine position. At the retreat, I asked everyone to do it. And for some reason, Jess became like the poster child for it. I would be like giving my content in the front, and there would be Jess like this. And I would keep like double taking, because everyone else would do it for a while. Probably a lot of you did it, and then maybe you came out of it. She literally, the entire time, we're on the photo shoot, and I'm walking around, and there's Jess in the corner. Yeah, I mean, every second. And it's really funny to see, right? It's a little unusual. So, sorry about that. But it was so precious. And somehow she just, she took it and she ran with it. And I was just like, be like Jess Webb to all of us when she became that living example. Cut to, she told you her numbers right after the retreat. Now, granted, there was a lot of pieces to that puzzle, obviously the photo shoot and the getting the nicer clothes. But I think that reclined position and spreading the legs and getting into that feminine receptive position has a lot to do with it. So sit back. Yeah, sit back and spread them. Awesome. Round of applause for Jess. Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, Jen.
So I think for me, I was kind of the tortured, lost soul. The catch is I just didn't really know that. So I was the person who was still trying to do a bit of everything. I was a teacher. I was a labor doula. I was a student midwife. I was doing education consulting. I had started a health coaching practice. I was trying to do all of it, and I wasn't sure who I was. I'd really lost that touchstone of who I was. And then on top of it, I had all the personal blocks too, and I was looking for all these outside answers. I was the program junkie. I don't know if any of you fall into that category, but at one point I was in 6 different programs at the same time. And I really was just grasping for anything I could, and I just wanted someone to just tell me what to do. But I just was so disconnected from myself that nothing was working. And I did Christina's Find Your Ecstatic Brand course last spring, and I had a session with her, a private session with her. And I remember, like she mentioned this morning, about sometimes you just are so in your stuff you can't see it, and you got to be able to see it and be in it to really get it to move. And we were talking, and I just remember saying, it's fine, things are fine, my marriage is fine, my choices have been fine. And she finally just said, I don't know if we can work together. And at that point, the wall just came crashing down. It's very emotional for me because I recognized at that point how lost I was. So, the shiny side to that is that I got the support I needed. And I worked with Christina. I did get a therapist.
I
I've been working
one.
very hard with a therapist as well. But I started to put the support pieces in place, and I realized I had been grasping for all this stuff, and I had the structure in place, but it was the personal blocks for me that were getting in the way. And I knew that she could see those. I remember telling my husband, she gets my demons. I need this woman to help me get through this. And so the cool part was that I got this amazing group with it. And I just felt so held and so loved in this process. And there was oodles of resistance that still came up through it. I'm sure Christina might bring that up. Getting down to the Clear Skin Diva part was a huge, huge challenge for me because I kept saying like, oh, that's only one piece of me. I'm supposed to be a midwife, and I'm supposed to be this, and I'm supposed to be a teacher and work with kids and support moms and help people heal their digestive issues. And, just I wanted all this stuff, and I couldn't see how all these pieces of me could fit. And so I fought it, but she got me to go there. And now that I'm on the other side, I actually feel really liberated. Like I feel so clear in my purpose, and I get to see how all those pieces feed in. Because for me, the skin, it's a window into what's going on inside, right? And so I still get to support women around all these other health issues, but also their emotional blocks and the things that are going on in their life, all that stress that's showing up in their skin. And in some respects, I get to midwife them through that process into kind of a rebirthing of themselves and how they show up in the world. And I would not have gotten there, and I wouldn't have been able to see it in that way. And so since I've done that, which really, the Clear Skin Diva was born, right after the retreat. Mm-hmm. So, and I didn't even go public with that until close to the end of September. And so since then, I've started a group program, the Clear Skin Diva Club, which has been amazing. And, my rates for my private clients, those are the highest I've ever charged. And you can bet they'll be going up again in the new year. But what's amazing is I find the women coming to me then, they are so much more committed. And they are in it 110%, and I can serve them in that way too. And so the results we're getting together are just off the charts. And so I'm so thankful. I am so thankful for this experience, and I've seen how it translates into the other areas of my life around healthy boundary setting, around being very clear in my purpose and direction and in what I want, and being not afraid to go after it. In my marriage, which not that long ago was, to be honest, I'd been looking even at possibly separating for a time, and we are now in a better place than we ever were, even when we were dating. Like it's this really juicy, lovely, supportive, and off the charts relationship I never even dreamed was possible.
Yay! Thank you, Clear Skin Diva. Round of applause for Jen. Awesome. Thank you. Well, what Jen is speaking about is that, when we talked, because I could feel something was going on, and she was in this group, and she was really vocal on the boards, and she was like, I don't know how all my gifts come together, and I'm this doula, and I'm this teacher, and I want to talk to parents about their, kids and what they feed them. I mean, it was like all these different pieces, and I was like trying to zero in with her, and I couldn't, and I knew that there was something else going on, and so I asked about her childhood, and she was one of those that was like, it was fine. I had a great childhood, and I was like, I don't think I believe you. And so that was where, if she couldn't be with me and there was something going on, I couldn't work with her, right? And so she took it to heart. That was hard. I don't think I've really said that to someone before, and I wanted to help her. But she got the support from the therapist, and then that started to open things up for her. And then lo and behold, then everything started to come together. And I'm sort of shocked in April where we started, and now that she is so clear and solid in this Clear Skin Diva piece. I mean, is she not embodying this brand or what? Absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for that process, and thanks. Let's give her another round of applause. Awesome. Okay, so I would love to have you guys stand and receive one giant round of applause for our success panel. Receive, no clapping, receive. Yes, and take a bow. Awesome. Thank you. Was that valuable to hear from your peers and hear it from somebody other than me? Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your stories and being so vulnerable. It was fun to have you up here and watch you shine. Okay, you guys can go back to your chairs. Thank you. And for my team, can we get the chairs off? Awesome.